Good morning, Ulster County. I'm John Rowan here, the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. Welcome, everyone. Well, we're missing you. It's great to see everybody here. We've got a really good crowd today. We're going to get to it in a minute. Okay. My script doesn't have minutes in here. Well, anyway, well, Happy New Year. And again, it's great to see everybody here. It's been a long holiday, it feels like, with holiday season, I should say, with COVID and just being stuck inside or not being stuck inside or not knowing when to go out and when to go out. And, you know, I think we should do more. And Nick, you want to ask you?
A little one.
The board said we're going to kind of stretch it out a little bit here, so I wasn't ready for this, but I guess we can stretch it out a little bit. All right.
You got to sing now, John.
No, you don't want me to sing. Everybody will be exiting the game. All right, if everybody can join me for the pledge to the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. For the new year here, your chamber has a host of great networking opportunities for you. Beginning with our first business card exchange of the year. It will be held on Thursday, February 3rd from 9 to 11 a.m. at the Holiday Inn Express in Lake Katrina. This no-cost networking event gives chamber members the opportunity to connect with other chamber members and to promote their businesses. All chamber members will have 2 to 3 minutes to talk about their business and hand out business cards. Don't keep your business a secret. Referrals from other people are one of the most powerful ways to build your business. Space is limited and reservations are required. Thanks to our sponsor, Hudson Valley Credit Union. Again, that's Thursday, February 3rd, starting at 9 a.m. at the Holiday Inn Express in Lake Katrina. Ulster County Executive Pat Ryan will be the featured guest speaker at our next breakfast meeting, Thursday, February 24th. Again, right here at the venue uptown at the Best Western Plus. Pat will be updating chamber members on his state of the county address and will also answer questions about issues of importance to the local business community. This is one breakfast meeting you won't want to miss. Thanks to our sponsors, Herzog's Home Center and Kingston Shopping Plaza. Coming in March, it's our biggest breakfast event of the year, the Chamber's annual Peter B. Matthews Honorary Irish Person of the Year Breakfast, sponsored by the Reese Group. Once again this year, we'll be featuring great live Irish music through the outstanding Team of Can Irish Band, who will be entertaining all morning long. The bagpipes and drums from the Ancient Order of Hibernians will kick off the morning. We'll have a great hot and cold breakfast. I'll have a great hot and cold buffet, including the ever-popular green orange juice. Looking forward. And it's all leading up to the surprise naming of the Honorary Irish Person of the Year. Advanced registration is required. Again, that's Thursday, March 17th. For these and all chamber events, you can register online at ulsterchamber.org or call the office at 338-5100. And now the rest of our program this morning, here's our President, Ward Todd.
Good morning. Good morning. Oh, morning. How are we feeling today? Good? You're looking real good. I don't know if this is completely normal, but it feels almost like completely normal. Thanks to so many of you turning out today. Haven't seen some of you in like 2 years. Daron and I were just talking about, like Pat Ryan was here 2 years ago and everything seemed great. And so anyway, welcome back. It is so great to see you. And we are Delighted to see more folks showing up every month, and we really appreciate it. Your support of our organization is critical, obviously, in order for us to continue to maintain the services we provide. So thanks for being here. Thanks to the Congressman who actually told us he's going to be here in a couple of minutes. We are going to have Congressman Delgado speaking this morning, and after his remarks, he will take questions from the floor, so prepare those questions now. He will be calling on you, possibly. Before we get to our Congressman, we want to do something special. We like to do this every January to start off our new year. It's our way of paying tribute, a kind of New Year tribute to those members who have significant anniversaries with our organization, starting with 25 years and up. And so, John Burlingham, please come back up if you would. We have certificates for our members who've been part of the Chamber of Commerce for at least 25 years. We want to acknowledge their support and thank them for helping to maintain a strong business advocacy organization in our region. Yes. Who are you calling? Are you calling someone? So thanks once again, everybody, for being here. We want to thank, first of all, our good friends Jason and Warren, our comments that are not here this morning. Something about doctor's hours, they're working today. I'm not sure I understand that. But anyway, we'll send them a certificate. They sent us a very nice letter thanking us for recognizing them. Celebrating 45 years, our good friends from Ulster Chamber is Dr. Chuck Corrick with us this morning. Please come on up if you would. Yep, we're going to get pictures also. Francisco and Pedro Diaz are here from the Hoffman House Restaurant, also 45 years as a chamber member. Come on up, if you would, please, give all me a nice picture. Celebrating 40 years, Costco Heritage Hop Energy. We thank them for their support over the years. 35 years as chamber members. This is going to be a challenge because the person giving out the certificates is receiving one of these certificates. I'm not sure who's actually going to do that. John Burlingham, American Solutions for Business. John and I were talking just yesterday, and we noted that he has been involved with the Chamber for at least half of his 35 years as a Chamber member. So bless you, John Burlingham, and thank you for your longtime support. SDN Deegan Collins Commercial Realty, Joe Deegan and Tom Collins are here. Please come up, guys, and let us thank you. Come on, Joe.
Right.
Ulster County Resource Recovery, Tim DeGraff, Charles Whitaker, if you're here, please come on up and accept the certificate for your 35-year anniversary as members of the Chamber of Commerce. There they are. Thanks also to our good friend at Vision Excel, Glenn Pomerantz is with us today. Glenn, it's great to see you again. Long-time chamber member, 35 years Vision Excel. Thanks, Glenn. Great to see you as always. Celebrating 30 years as members of the Chamber, I want to thank our good friend Jeff Lau at Lau Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning right here in Kingston. Great supporter of the Chamber as a corporate supporter, also a past member of our Chamber board. Jeff, come on. Celebrating 30 years also from WAMC 90.9 Northeast Public Radio, Deborah Barrow. Deb, come on up. Fresh from the round table. And then on the 25-year anniversaries, want to thank Wayne Schaefer at Yushiko Incorporated. Wayne, come on down.
Yes, please.
Wayne, thank you. Thanks for all you do. Did I miss anybody that we invited who just kind of showed up and we didn't know you were coming? We have certificates for all the others whose names you saw displayed. We want to be sure that you got your certificate. If you're not here today, we will definitely get them delivered to you. And thank you all for your support. Nice round of applause again if you would. These are our long-term members. Meanwhile, it's been a very active new year already for our amazing membership director, Jess Davis, and our great ambassadors. So, Jess, why don't you come out here and introduce some new members for us. Jess Davis. Also known as Jess.
Good morning, Ulster County. Our first breakfast meeting of 2022, and we're together, so I think we are kicking the year off right already. Thank you all for being with us. So I'm really excited to welcome many new members, and I'll start off with Charles River Laboratory. They do laboratory research out just as you hit Stone Ridge. And John Denier is there. He could not be with us this morning. He's the Senior Director of Operations, but we look forward to welcoming him to a future event. All the way from Louisiana, DeWitt's Appliance Repair, brand new member, Gage DeWitt. He called the chamber office last week. I thought he might have got the number on accident, but he's already a great fit. So I'm going to ask him to come on up and tell you he's relocating and moving to our area. Very exciting.
Hey y'all, my name is Gage DeWitt, and you have to forgive me, I'm not much of a public speaker. But I am from Vidalia, Louisiana, and I'm not sure if you guys know where that at, but before anybody asks, I am not from the home of the Onion. That is Vidalia, Georgia. Vidalia, Louisiana is home of the crooked politician. So, all jokes aside, I'm here to introduce my business, DeWitt's Appliance Repair. It's a pretty simple business. We do refrigeration and appliance repair. We offer service on all residential appliances, all brands, all types. We've been in business in Louisiana and Mississippi for 9 years, and I started visiting Ulster County about 3 years ago because I'm a family historian. I'm not sure if anybody knows the name DeWitt in here or not. You know? So I'm a family historian. I started doing some research back in 2012 and started making some trips up here to find out more about my ancestors. And I started looking around at the area, and something strange happened. Every time I returned home to Louisiana, I felt like I wasn't going home, but I was leaving home. And that's strange because I didn't grow up with any connection to New York at all. So we decided to expand our business here, and we're in the early stages of that. We're accepting service calls now, so if anybody has anything to work with, we're here. That's about it. You know, it's a simple business model. We guarantee all of our work. We warranty all of our work. We do good, honest business. We're just in business to do good for people. So that's, I think we can do a lot of good for Ulster County, and I think Ulster County can do a lot of good for us. And the last thing I'm going to say is, and I know it's strange to people that may not do ancestry research and all that, but I've always wondered what really attracted me to Ulster County, and I realized what it was opportunity. And you know, the economics in Louisiana and Mississippi is not the same as it is up here. And I realized that Ulster County could provide my family, myself, and my business the opportunity of a better, more successful life. And what I realized was this is the same exact opportunity that motivated my ancestors to navigate here from Europe 361 years ago. And literally, if you go down the road on Hurley Avenue, the house that they built in 1669 is still there to this day. And I could literally turn left right up here, right by Deet's Diner, and right at the corner of that intersection of Hoffman House is the exact stockade that they lived in. So it's going to be pretty amazing to do work in the areas that my ancestors started the family in this country, or this continent. So I'm looking forward to meeting everybody and doing some good work. I have probably like several thousand business cards, so I didn't know how much. So if anybody wants to join, we have flyers, business cards, and all that. We're just trying to get the word out. We're here, and we'll look forward to doing work for everybody. Thank you.
Real big giveaway is that cowboy hat out there on the picture. The guy from Louisiana.
See, I'm not well cultured in proper etiquette. We're a lot more casual in Louisiana, so I didn't know if I should wear my hat in here or not. I saw one hat on the rack, so I decided to take mine off.
We are also proud to welcome Hazel Rose Baking Company, which is out of Marlborough area. Jordan Palumbo Murtaugh is the baker and owner there, and you can learn more about them on Ulster Eateries United. I'll be heading there for a Just Delicious sometime this year. We also welcome Hudson Valley Peak Performance out of New Paltz, and that is Courtney Whitebay. Courtney, I don't think she could make it this morning. Health and wellness, business coaching, and really releasing your thoughts to, they work with your health, your mind, your body, your wellness to become more successful in business. So it's a really neat concept. With us today is Intelligent IT Designs out of Pleasant Valley. We have Jen Coleman and Paul Villanueva. Jen Coleman is Marketing and Business Development Manager, Computer Systems and Service, but I will let her tell you more about it.
So he's a tough act to follow. He's really good at speaking, and I'm really not. So basically, we are a full-service IT consulting firm here in the Hudson Valley, and we offer managed services. We can be an extension of your team. We can just help you out with whatever you need, cybersecurity, things like that. We also like to educate, so if you're an organization that caters to children, then we like to talk to you about, how to keep our kids safe, in today's cyber world. And that's a complimentary seminar we will give to anybody who's interested. So I also have several cards, not thousands, but several, and I'd love to talk to all of you. Thank you.
Proud to welcome La Florentina Restaurant, which is now under new ownership. I will actually be there this evening with Ward's daughter doing a Just Delicious. I cannot wait. Maynor, forgive me if I say this incorrectly, Mazariego is the owner there, and he's actually already a chamber member with M&M Home Improvements. So he is working morning till night and couldn't be with us this morning, but we warmly welcome the La Florentina family. We also re-welcome Robert G. Baum Commercial Real Estate back to the chamber, specializing in industrial and commercial real estate. And we are proud to welcome Ronda Laundromat, which is the lower end of Colonel Chandler Drive. They'll be opening with a grand opening. Shadi Ali is the owner-operator there. We're excited to get to know them better. And very proud to welcome Upriver Studios. Upriver Studios is located out of Saugerties right now, and you probably would better know that Pretty Little Liars is now in Upriver Studios. So every time there's a filming happening, we were just here in Uptown, that's who they are. They have like a 1 to 3 year contract. It's really exciting. I was out there for a tour. They're doing really amazing things. So we're happy to welcome Beth Davenport. She's co-founder, and that's production and entertainment. So really great to have them here in the Ulster County area. Last but not least, we have Alejandro Daron Sanchez and John Taylor, and they're here with us this morning with Volna Uniline. It's a marketing agency located out of Lake Katrina, and I'd love for you to tell us more about it. I know we've been playing email tag.
Good morning. I've been playing email tag with Jess back and forth, and for those of you who don't know me, my grammar is not my strong point. That's why I have my coworker here, Key, and I'm like 23 years old and I still don't have to use the wrong there and there and there. I probably should not be admitting that, but my name is Alejandro Duran Sanchez, and my business is Volna Unaligned. We're a digital marketing agency that technically started when I was in high school. I just didn't have a brand, and I was just excited to start what I was doing. Mentors from Peterson Yang to Brandon Burnett always told me that if you want to do something, do it because you love it, even while you're still in college. So my junior year, straight into Albany, I was like, I'm going to do it. started marketing around New Albany, started marketing for SUNY Ulster, took up some internships, and then when I took off and I graduated, I said, you know what, I'm gonna go out there, dedicate myself. Started my business, recruited some great friends that I've been going through high school. We grew from 1 client to 4 clients to 6 clients to now possibly 7 clients. From Goshen to New Paltz to Poughkeepsie to Kingston, and then hopefully out of state. We don't know yet. Hopefully, it's expensive apparently. I didn't know that. But we're really excited. We do all types of things from SEO to websites to social media to TikToks to Reels. Yes, if you ever do see me somewhere and I'm the crazy kid that's literally recording with somebody else like this, like, okay, you do that again, do that again. But we also provide photography as well, from food to outside to even if you wanted weddings or baptisms, I do that all as well. We're just starting up. The website should have been completed, but there was a small little error, so we're fixing that up again. We don't want to produce a bad website, even if we make websites, so we don't want to do that. But we're very excited to be here, continuing to grow the team. And the one thing that we just want to say to everyone is, content can always be improved, content can always be fresh. What you're doing, what you did maybe 2 or 3 years ago isn't maybe the best idea going forward, or it can be updated itself. We're here for you, we're always going to be here. And the thing that I love, the quote that I build everything on is stay hungry, stay foolish, stay hungry for what's new, stay hungry for innovating, stay hungry for everything. And stay foolish means always have fun, always enjoy the moment, and that's what I'm doing here. So thank you so much, everybody.
Alejandro, thank you so much for being here. I know Ward's ear got a little turned when you said TikTok. He's really into staying on trend, so don't be surprised if he approaches you after. So that's a wrap for our new members, but I'm excited. Oh, yeah, why aren't you on here? Jim Morse is here with Sleep and Spa. See, this is what happened. I drove in from DC last night, and I was tired when I was proofing everything. Jim, come on up. And I will also point out his wife, LM Real Estate, out of Port Ewan, Lori Morse, is here today too. This is her first actual breakfast as a chamber member because she opened her business in the middle of the pandemic. So, Lori, just give a wave. She's got some fun social media stuff happening over there, so check her out on Insta and Facebook. And Jim Morse.
Thanks for forgetting about me.
No.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So my name is Jim Morse, as she said, and that's my beautiful wife in the back who opened up her real estate business in Port Ewan. Some of you may know me because I've sold you a mattress or something else in the last 20, 25 years that I've been working in this area. So I am a public speaker. So with that, a new business model that we're bringing to the Hudson Valley. It's been successful in other parts of New York. It's called Sleep and Spa. What it is basically everything that you can do to sit, soak, and sleep and relax in your house and outside of your house. We sell hot tubs with Bullfrog. We sell Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster. We sell massage chairs. So if you ever see me sleeping in the chair in the front of the store, it's a massage chair and with heat, and they are available. We do have stock available. We've already sold quite a few to the Hudson Valley here. I'd be more than happy to get anybody in there and show them what we have to offer. Stop by 7 days a week, come and see me. I'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Good morning, John.
If there was anyone I could forget, Jim Morse, I'm okay with it. I will tell you, we were just there for the grand opening, and that massage chair is magical. If you have the chance to stop in there and just hang out, even for 10 minutes. So if you're not yet a member of the Ulster Chamber and you're out there on Facebook Live, we would love to welcome you to this incredible family. You can reach out to me at jess@ulsterchamber.org or just give a call, 845-338-5100, and we'll be happy to tell you more about us.
All right, thank you. Thanks again to our new members. It's great to see you all. Don't be strangers. You all have a membership guide on your place setting when you came in today. I want to thank Carol Ricken and our good friends at Color Page for printing and doing the ad sales this year. I think it's a great publication. We invite you to take more. We've got a bunch at the Chamber office. If you don't, if you have a need for a quantity of them, we'd love to get them out and distributed throughout the area. So great job. Some good, wonderful editorial content, and of course, special thanks to the folks who are advertisers year after year in our membership guide. We also have more of our great computer monitor calendars at the office. If you'd like some for your office, stop and get some. They're just essential, I think. Just clear what day of the year it is. It's right here. So we have some door prizes. We have birthdays. First of all, do we have any birthdays? Here comes Jess with the birthdays. Want to congratulate and thank members of the Chamber Board or staff. Jess Davis herself had a birthday January the 9th as she walks back in the door. Kevin Colby from our board on January 13th. Jessica Coombs, January 15th from United Healthcare. And Debbie Trateros had a birthday yesterday. And we have some business cards, folks celebrating January birthdays. Someone's going to win dinner for two at Mariners Harbor. So we will deliver that to Janet. How do you pronounce your last name, Janet? Is it Gianetta?
Gianetta.
Congratulations. Your birthday was January the 7th, and part of the deal of winning this is we need to find out what year. No, we won't shoot.
19 in a row.
Are you legal? That's important.
Over 21.
All right. Door prizes. Lots of door prizes. Good. What do we have, Jess? What do we
Let's
got?
start with Portland and Diner. We have two winners.
We have gift card at Port and Diner. Delicious breakfast lunch. You can check it out.
Pull up your
All right.
card.
So that will be.
Pressure's
Yep.
on.
Yeah. Okay, congratulations, Skip Rubino from Portland Diner goes to our good friend Cheryl Goldbar. Congratulations, Cheryl. Enjoy the Portland Diner. We have a Remedy Skin Studio gift certificate. Would that be fun? Yeah. You gonna do an animal?
I got one of those for my birthday.
There you go. Let's see. Sean Saliva. So Sean may want to use it or gift it to his wonderful bride. Barbara Conley Cohen has some of these delicious chocolates in here. Proceeds to benefit the Kingston Rotary Club. This weighs like 20 pounds, it feels. If you want some, she's got them for you. And I think Glenn Pomerantz is going to receive this from Vision Excel. Another special prize for being a member. Congratulations. Oh boy, so if you have not yet gotten your ticket, Gateway does a wonderful raffle every year. We have for someone a $100 ticket at no cost, and you could win with this ticket $10,000. How cool would that be? And also, I think there are some others here, folks would like to maybe buy one of these, right? Elizabeth is here. I don't have a name on this card, so please try again. Okay. Looks like Alex Steer from Olive, another store. Congratulations. Free popcorn for two at NCG Cinema. What a great place. Bradley Cummings, 2HY Advisors. Congratulations, Brad. That's yours. Same thing. One more. Okay, so what's the clients? What are the chances? Welcome to the chamber. Let me introduce you to our new movie theater. Dice things. Those aren't Kunskis, are they?
Wait, you said it right. Half a dozen, I think, of Kunskis.
So Janet just won. Oh, she can win again. That was her birthday. Janet Gianetta, congratulations. And another dice things. Dozen Kunskis. They're out of this world. Sarah Sanders, YWCK. Congratulations. Friends at All That Java have ground coffee, a delicious pound. This is amazing coffee. Gloria Waslin wins one of those from All That Java. Congratulations to Gloria. And we have another pound of coffee. Wayne Schaefer, Yoshiko. You're a winner, Wayne. Congratulations. And what else?
And then we've got two more. Here, don't look, no cheating. I'm your partner.
JK's at the Kingston Plaza, lovely stunning bottle of wine. Barbara Cohen, Schwartz is in. That's for Barbara. And an accessory bag from our great friends at American Solutions for Business. How about that? Victoria Moreno from Emma Doe from All right. Great. The Congressman is here. We thank him for joining us this morning, and we'll get a chance to hear from him in a moment. But first, we want to thank our wonderful sponsor. They are good friends at Ulster Savings Bank. We invite you to watch this video presentation next to learn more about Ulster Savings and the great work they've been doing right here in our community since 1851.
Hi, I'm Bill Calderaro, President and CEO of Ulster Savings Bank. We are proud of our long-standing partnership with the Ulster Chamber and are thrilled to be today's sponsor for our friend Congressman Delgado. At Ulster Savings, we've always believed in being a major driver of positive change in our community. During our 178th anniversary celebration, we stepped it up a notch with our Acts of Kindness campaign. Back in 1851, our founders put up their own capital with no expectation of return to start a bank that would help its customers and community. We continue to keep that legacy alive with a strong set of core values, one of which includes having our customers back, something that we have strived for and I would say succeeded to do since the beginning. During the COVID pandemic, a local admirer tweeted, "It's so very cool when a local savings bank gets all George Bailey in a time of hardship." I love that tweet because we're reminiscent of that humble hero. Since forming the Ulster Chamber's Charitable Foundation in 2001 to supplement our charitable giving, over $14.5 million have been distributed to local people in need. We have our customers' backs in unique ways, like preventing fraud at times, even before our customers realize it. While we work to keep you secure behind the scenes, we consistently remind you that awareness of potential fraud and how to prevent it is critical. Hence our free financial literacy tools, fraud prevention, and identity theft resources on our bank's website and Facebook page. Our Smart Business Solutions products include tools like Positive Pay to help protect against check and ACH fraud. Another one of our core values is helping to change the trajectory of people's lives. Recently, we've been embodying that value in our Going Green initiative. Solar panels were installed in several branch locations, and at our Strength Drive in Kingston, we just completed a solar-powered electric vehicle charging station, so you can charge where you bank. Stay tuned for more green investments on the way. I'm proud of how locally involved the Ulster Savings Bank family has been over the years, and I'm also excited for the opportunities this year will bring. With that, I'm pleased to premiere a new app that may help generate business for you.
The newest way to save money is also the easiest way to save money. With your bank's mobile rewards app, you get access to thousands of offers across the U.S. on shopping, dining, travel, and so much more. All there is to do is show your coupon and save. And feel great about supporting local businesses along the way. No matter who you are or what you do, saving money is for everyone, especially when it's this easy to watch your savings grow and grow.
Ulster Savings is more than just a bank. Whether it's supporting community, sending business your way, finding the right financing solutions, providing convenient banking options, or protecting what matters most, Ulster Savings can do all that and more. It's all right here with us.
Please welcome the President and CEO of Ulster Savings Bank, Bill Delgado.
So good morning, everyone. Welcome again. We're very, very proud, again, to be a sponsor of today's event, our long-standing partnership, as I said, with the Chamber, and to have our honor of having Congressman Delgado again here with us. Thank you. We have one thing we want to do. When we get our 170 acts of kindness, which we're going to continue, Our main goal was to also have that committee paid forward, have other organizations get involved, have that in the community in the time. So what we're going to do today, and our crew pre-selected 3 businesses that we're going to pay it forward with and help them start up their own acts of kindness campaign, and we're going to fund it with $3,000 to start it going on. So. To say that they chose them ahead of time, and it was Vision Excel is one of our businesses, and Ellen Del Hospital. Our marketing department will work with you, come up with your campaign of how you put it forward, and we'll fund that out. You can work with your customers. One of the things we did do with one of our customers, which was amazing, is they found out that they had, during the pandemic, several customers that could not afford their services anymore. Pieces. And the next billing cycle, they got a bill that said, your bill's been paid for by us. So those are some of the ideas and things that you can do. We have an amazing time with it. So thank you.
Thank you again, Bill, for all your support over the years. It's time to welcome our guest speaker this morning, and we again want to thank you for being with us in person this time for our annual Congressional update. We were fortunate to connect with him virtually several times during the pandemic, so he could bring us up to date on federal COVID relief programs and guidance. And as all of you are very aware, those much-needed PPP and EIDL programs were nothing short of life-saving for many businesses. So we've asked him to reflect on the pandemic and other news of importance from Washington, past, present, and future. And we're delighted to have him here today. Most excited to understand, as a personal fan of the Buffalo Bills, we learned this federal legislation to change the rules on overtime. So that's going to be number one in the agenda. Please warm Chamber of Commerce welcome to our Congressman Antonio Delgado.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy New Year. To all of my fellow January birthdays, happy birthday to you. I turned, hard to believe, 45 on Friday. So I'm excited about that. Let me just. My wife did you.
We have the same birthday.
Yes, you're on it, yes. So, my wife, Lacey, also shares the January birthday, January 9th. So, the kids love it. They get a whole lot of ice cream cake. Let me start by thanking my friend Ward. Always appreciate your leadership and your commitment to this community. The Ward serves on my small business advisory committee and have his input, his insights. It's a bipartisan committee of individuals all across the district. And I always value your perspective and the way you ground our conversation. So really appreciate your leadership and your involvement in that regard. So thank you. Can I move this? No. I know, but can I move this?
That's for our
is that for the folks on the, gosh, all right. I just like to I also want to acknowledge, everybody in the chamber, Jess, and certainly Ulster Savings, Bill, and the board members who also sit on my locally based advisory committee. And I cannot move any more ahead without acknowledging my mother-in-law and business owner herself, small business owner of Town and Country, Peggy, who is here today. Yay, Peggy. And to all of you, I thank you for your engagement and all the opportunities that you bring to our community in terms of generating employment, allowing folks to put food on their table and just contribute to the welfare of our society and to our communities here in Ulster. I want to focus my remarks on the support that I've been advocating for our small businesses, both looking back throughout the last couple of years and looking ahead, which to me is vitally important as we navigate the persistence of COVID. As many of you know, I am a member of the 3 House committees, agriculture being one of them, also transportation and infrastructure, and small business. I think all 3 of those are pretty important ones, particularly for our community. I've been very active on all those, but being on the Small Business Committee actually gave me a chance to really get involved in the programs that were mentioned in terms of assisting our small businesses. And from the beginning of the pandemic, it was clear to me that what we did on that committee was going to be vital for the sustainability of our small business. We have 27,000 in New York 19, 27,000, including self-employed. And we know we're a rural district, very rural. In fact, the 8th most rural congressional district in the entire country, out of 450 seats. And so, when you think about the importance of our small businesses along main streets in supporting our local economy and our communities, it is vital. It is vital, particularly along with our small family-owned farms. We have about 5,000 of those throughout the district. So with all that in mind, I really try to focus on how I can help right from the jump. We had the Small Business Relief Act of 2020, which I introduced, and it was signed as a part of the CARES Act into law in March of 2020. This bill basically would allow loan forgiveness for a number of SBA loans for up to 6 months. So right off the bat, we were able to make sure folks who already had SBA loans could get some direct relief for up to 6 months. I followed that up in September, introduced the Small Business Debt Relief Extension Act to make sure we can build on that loan forgiveness with the understanding that pandemic was still going forward and we're still in the throes of it. So it's important to do that. The board mentioned the Paycheck Protection Program. And I went to I won't say every, we got a lot of small businesses, so a lot of small businesses all across the district. And one of the things I kept hearing everywhere I went, we really appreciate that PPP, we really do, but we're still struggling. We could use some more help. Can we circle back and get a second bite at the apple? Are there ways to do that? And I heard that, I went back to Washington and introduced the Prioritized Paycheck Protection Program Act, or P4, which would allow certain businesses that were hit particularly hard during the pandemic to go back and reapply for more help through PPP. So we're happy to get that done as well. And that was just all in 2020, thinking about how to navigate through what was for us all a very traumatic period of time. In early 2021, hit the ground running. We had the American Rescue Plan, and my bipartisan bill, the Direct Support for Communities Act, was included in the American Rescue Plan. This is a very, very important bill. Not just for our community, but for the country. It's really the first of its kind. If you go back to the CARES Act, there was a threshold on state and local funding relief of 500,000 people. 500,000 people. So if you wanted to receive, as a municipality, a county, or a town, some type of federal relief to offset the harm, economic, health harm being posed on our communities, you had to have a population of 500,000 people. You're not going to find a single municipality or county in our district with 500,000 people in it. So we were kind of shut out. And I got busy working on legislation that would create a funding formula to ensure that every single town, village, county of any size would get some form of relief to offset the impact that COVID has had on everybody across the country. And this bill was ultimately included and delivered $130 billion to every single local government across the country. And in our district, over $400 million to every single municipality and county in New York 19. We're thinking about 11 counties, I should say, well, not whole, but total. We cover 11 counties in the district, obviously Ulster being one of them. Each of these counties got direct relief, not through the state, didn't go to the state, to the county. I heard that a lot from folks that I talked with all throughout the district. They don't want money going straight through the state, they want it right to them. And I understand that, I appreciate that. We made sure that we got the money to our counties directly. Ulster County got $34 million. $34 million. Across the Dutchess got $57 million. Money that can be used by local leaders to do a host of things, whether it's balanced budgets, whether it's invested in infrastructure, build out broadband, support small businesses, very flexible usage. Again, another request that I received from local leaders saying, hey, we don't mind the relief, but don't tie our hands. Don't overly burden us while trying to help us. And so for me, that was what I took when I thought about this issue and how to navigate it in a way to empower people and to help people see that there's a role for government to play when it's not overly burdensome, when it's not complicating your affairs, but just enabling you to invest in yourselves and grow from the ground up. So that was a revolutionary, I think, way to proceed here, not just in terms of the context of how we provide relief in the midst of COVID, but just thinking about moving forward, how we can support at the federal levels our rural communities in a more direct way that isn't overly burdensome. I want to model that out in my work moving forward. I spoke to a bunch of county execs, mayors, town supervisors, Democrats, Republicans, independents, doesn't matter. They all, in fact, a good number of them signed on to an op-ed applauding the work of this bill. So excited about that. But that was just one piece. The other piece that I got included in the American Rescue Plan, the Small Business Relief Accessibility Act. Speaking a lot about these relief programs, it's important to understand that for folks on the ground, how are you going to access them? Who are you going to trust to help you access these relief programs? Nonprofits maybe, chambers maybe, people you can trust on the ground, and not folks who are behind the phone, you don't know who they are, never spoke to a day in your life, but people on the ground that you have a community with. But this is what this bill does. It empowers local actors on the ground, nonprofit actors, again, chambers, to actually do that work of connecting folks to relief and making that relief more accessible to them. To me, that again is how we can build community and trust and economic empowerment from the ground up. Other key pieces of legislation I've supported to help our local economy. The Shuttered Venue Operator Grant, very, very important program. The Restaurant Revitalization Fund, another critical program for our restaurants. Essential mechanisms to help sustain our business communities and our main streets. We know that moving forward we have to do some more in this space. We are not out of the woods when it comes to the pandemic. We're going to need our local institutions like Ulster Savings to continue to step up and do amazing work on behalf of our community. We know that early relief programs were not perfect, and we had to do some tweaking to make sure the folks that we had intended to receive the funding actually got the funding, particularly those who were hard hit. We also let folks, timing-wise, they started their business right at the onset of COVID, and so really weren't eligible for the relief and had to figure out how to sustain themselves without that relief. With all that in mind, I think there is some discussion in DC around bipartisan efforts for targeted relief, more targeted relief as we move forward, particularly for those hard-hit industries that we know have taken a beating. Ward also mentioned the EIDL program. I led a letter, 86 of my colleagues, bipartisan letter when EIDL first was rolled out. Our farmers were not eligible for this. Only our small businesses. Had a lot of farmers scratching their heads trying to figure out why are they not eligible for this relief. We got that changed. That's an example of how we had to tweak it to make sure that things were delivered as intended. Now, let's look ahead for a little bit. You know, as we look forward in the new year, and listen, I know we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot. But I do remain hopeful. You know, hearing people's stories in this room, you know, people feeling the impulse of opportunity, right?
That's right.
And knowing that here in this land, you can go seek it out and go get it if you want to get it. That gives me hope. That is a big reason why I do the work that I do, is to tap into that American spirit that I think defines us, irrespective of your party. And I think that's where we have to really tap into now, because COVID is still obviously with us. And we've made some strides, and I think we're trending in the right direction. But we are still navigating some tough terrain. But the good news is that we've got some programs that have worked. And if we have to go back to them in terms of, you know, relief, I think we can do some of that. And that's encouraging, and we can build on that. And I think whether it's re-upping the restaurant revitalization fund, which by the way, about 100,000 folks got it. 164,000 applicants did not. So a lot of folks who wanted this relief didn't get it. I've led an effort to make sure we replenish that fund, to make sure that our restaurants actually get the relief, particularly those who did not get it the first go. So things like that, I think we can build on. But aside from relief programs, I want to talk about other things that we've worked on that I think are also encouraging. We've got something pretty significant done in 2021, and did it on a bipartisan basis. The infrastructure law, know about this? I want to make sure you're aware of this. It's a big deal. How long have we been talking about infrastructure? A long time, for decades. And we got it done. A significant, historic piece of legislation here that is going to transform our local economies and empower our communities from the ground up. We're talking billions of dollars invested in roads and bridges, in our ports, in our airports. We're talking about massive investment in broadband. 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 We're talking about investment in water infrastructure. You know, I've heard so many folks from across the district talk about how when you want to incentivize capital investment in your community, you gotta have certain basics to get that investment, right? An investor wants to know, okay, what are they working with? Well, if your water systems are outdated and aren't modernized, if you don't have broadband, how are you gonna attract the capital investments? Nuts and bolts here. This is foundational. We haven't done this kind of work in over 50 years. In the richest, most powerful country in the world, we haven't done this. We're still operating on 20th century technology. I had a man tell me out in Calhoun, in Sullivan County, it blew my mind. We walked through the store, he said, we have wood pipes. We need our ground. This is what we work with. Wood. That was all he had to say. That's enough for me. In New York, there are more than 1,700 bridges and 7,000 miles of highway in poor condition. Poor. Not okay, not average, not getting by. Poor. That is a term of art. Poor condition. This formula that is included in the infrastructure bill, New York, just New York, expects to receive more than $1 billion for federal aid highway apportionment programs and $2 billion for bridge replacement, $9.8 billion for public transportation, and again, $100 million for broadband. My Clean Water for Rural America Act, emphasis again on rural, will ensure that we have an increase for technical assistance grants for rural municipalities that want to upgrade their water infrastructure. Also note that the historic package includes my BuyAmerican.gov Act, which, to cut through all the bureaucracy, if you will, or weediness of this. Right now, federal agencies can seek waivers when they're getting contracts to build out transportation, roads, bridges, to use or to get around Buy American laws. They have to seek a waiver, and if for some reason they can't identify these products. But there's no mechanism to track who's seeking these waivers and let the public see that. Who's seeking these waivers and why? We want folks to buy American. We want folks to rely on American manufacturing goods. If you can't access them, that's fine. We'll figure out a way around it. But please, let's make sure that that is in fact the case. But we can't make a determination if we can't see it somewhere. And the public can't see it somewhere. This bill that is now included will ensure that there's a website that has to post every time a company or agency seeks a waiver to get around a Buy American provision. We have to make sure we do all that we can to ensure that every step is taken to utilize American-made goods, because that creates American jobs. And that, to me, is vitally important as we move forward. A few other things. I don't want to go on too long, but I do have a few other points that I want to raise. We are facing challenges with rising costs at the gas pump, goods, shopping malls, and markets. It is real. There's no way around that. It is a fact. And we have to figure out how to deal with it. I introduced a 4x4 plan that I think in some part can speak to these issues. It's a detailed roadmap that focuses on 4 areas of our economy that I think can get things going: energy, transportation, manufacturing, and shipping. I spoke about the transportation component with the infrastructure bill. I think massive investment in our roads and bridges and ports will get markets, will get goods to the market faster, and hopefully clean up some of the bottleneck issues that we're experiencing. So that's a big, big piece. On the energy front, the investment that's being made in that infrastructure bill is also critical. There's a lot of money going to go to weatherization assistance programs and low-income home energy assistance programs, 2 programs your families rely upon to bring down heating costs during the winter months. I called on President Biden to tap into the Strategic Petroleum Revenue Reserve, I should say, to make sure that we can help bring down costs there as well, and he did that. And as for manufacturing, the other piece, I introduced legislation that would support American-made manufacturing, not just the American or Buy American Gov Act, but also the Made Here Act. This would create manufacturing cluster programs where we would create resources and grants to fund partnerships between small businesses, companies, institutions that work in a particular manufacturing sector together and that they collaborate. So we want to help them scale up through these grants. So this Made Here Act for me, I think, is a big piece forward. And then the shipping component. The Ocean Shipping Reform Act, which passed the House. I was a big proponent of this bill. Some of you may know this. We got a lot of folks who come over with their carriers from outside of our country. They drop off their goods and they take empty carriers back with them. They don't want the cost of having to put reciprocally, goods on their carriers. We got to stop that practice. That's ridiculous. And so we introduced the Reform Act here that, again, passed the House, and I think will hopefully make that a bit easier moving forward. That's my 4x4 plan. It's not a cure-all, but I think if we can move on these pieces aggressively, we can move ourselves in the right direction. A couple of other things that I've been working on. My Small Business Compliance Act. A lot of regulations out there. Europe is obviously pretty on the high end of that, relatively speaking. You might be able to speak to that too, coming from where you come from. I know that we have a lot of regs here in the state. At the federal level, what we need to do is figure out how to make sure that our small businesses can at least comply in the most cost-effective way possible. So one website that has every regulation you have to be mindful of, that you can locate confidently and navigate cost-effectively, to me is very important. Democrats, Republicans can disagree sometimes on the amount of regulation, but we can all agree on how to make it more cost-effective. It should not be overly burdensome to figure out how to comply for our small businesses. My Tax Fairness to the Self-Employed Act, legislation that would allow our self-employed folk to deduct their health care premiums. Corporations can do this. Our self-employed folks cannot do this. They cannot deduct their health care premiums as a business expense if you are self-employed. This would give major savings to our self-employed folk all across the district. In closing, I gave you a lot of information here. But sometimes, and I try not to watch a lot of TV because what ultimately gets covered is just a bunch of noise. It really is. It's a game for a lot of people. They all have their own agenda. And the people who are trying to actually get information, who are just trying to figure out what the hell's going on, are having a hard time figuring that out. Just turning on the news these days, no matter what station you turn to. And so I come here presenting information. And it might sound like, that's a lot of stuff he's talking about, but it's the stuff that we're doing. This is what's happening, at least from my vantage point. This is the work that I'm going to keep doing and focus on moving forward. I am very proud of the fact that I was recently recognized as the 4th most bipartisan member in all of Congress. I appreciate that. In a time of dysfunction, it's pretty bad in Washington, and in extreme partisanship. It's not been easy to figure out how to find that common ground and deliver. Because that's what, to me, it should be about, delivery. Are you actually producing outcomes for the folks that you represent? We had 18 bills signed into law since I've been in Congress. We had 10 signed into law under President Trump. We've had now 8 under President Biden. So irrespective of the administration, and I think we all can agree they're different administrations. Irrespective of the administrations, we've been successful because we put our nose down and did the work. And I think that's, to me, also a reflection of the people that I represent. I know what you all expect from me. I know that if I want to genuinely be an extension of you, this is how I need to be. This is what it means to represent the community. Not yourself, not self-interest or power hungriness, but actually care about the people you represent. And not be perfect. I'm not going to agree with everything everybody has to say. It's impossible in a diverse district like ours, or any place for that matter, but certainly here. But what you can count on is that I will be accessible, I will be transparent, and I will be accountable, and I will work for you, all of you, no matter what your party affiliation is. I will work for you, period, full stop. So thank you. Thank you for the work that all of you do in your own ways to enable and empower our communities. I want you to please stay safe. Please stay healthy. Acts of kindness matter. They really do. And I'm certainly going to try to do my part in that regard. Love to you all, and God bless.
Is there time for questions? Any questions for the Congressman? Yes, Tony.
Congressman, thank you for your work.
Can you do the microphone, Tony?
I can hear. I don't think so. Outside voice. Can you speak to the lack of workforce that is kind of hindering, I think, a lot of our small businesses, a lot of our economic interests, and what some solutions might be in your mind, because I think this is a major factor. There's no fuel for the car.
Yeah, no, your point about, I'm glad you brought this issue up. The workforce shortage issue has been a problem that even predates COVID. I mean, I remember talking with my advisory committee, local race group, talking about these issues. It was a persistent theme. How do we keep folks here? How do we make sure we provide the right training for folks to level up and have the skill sets they need for certain positions? And you know, I talked a little bit to some of the ways in which we can draw folks here, whether it's the broadband or whether it's making sure that we have real investment in things like cell service to keep folks here and families here. But we have to do a better job of figuring out where our educational institutions, our BOCES, our community colleges, our SUNY schools, we have a lot of great educational institutions. Figure out what those programs that they're working on and building on that are about workforce development and have direct feeds into types of different industries, and really put investment in those types of partnerships and grow them out and scale them out and take a more targeted approach. I think that's what I was getting at when I talked about the Made Here Act, is figuring out how to identify those partnerships, those cooperations, and see then what we can do to support those efforts and build them out. I think also re-emphasizing what it means to have an education in America is important too. I think for a very long time, we were under the illusion that everybody should go get a 4-year college degree and everything's going to be great. It's not how it works. Certainly in the global economy we have today. Getting back to our real emphasis on trade schools, apprenticeship programs, making sure that we really elevate that work is critically important. And then lastly, we have to support folks who want to train themselves up, but whether it's the lack of affordable housing, transportation issues, child care issues, whatever the case might be, they feel stuck where they are and they can't improve upon their situation. I have a bill that supports that. It's called the Gateway to Careers Act. That again looks at providing partnerships or supporting partnerships that provide wraparound services. Right? So if you are a young person or even a person later in life who's trying to figure out how to elevate yourself and improve your skill set, but you got to worry about where you put your kids or how to get from point A to B at a certain time, we want to support those programs that are providing those types of access points and relief and support for those individuals so they can train themselves. It's not a silver bullet issue here. You got to.
How about incentives to bring people back to work now?
Well, you say incentives.
You're talking down the road a little bit, and I can certainly appreciate that, but I think the issue is now. And the COVID virus has kept people out, whatever the reasons are. I mean, we need to have a quicker solution than 2 years down the road. I mean, which I believe in, but
no, I certainly appreciate the urgency. There's no doubt about it. I think it's a challenging question, right? I mean, we are going through a period of time where, for a host, and you allude to this, a host of different reasons, people are weighing options, right? There was a period of time where we did the unemployment piece, right? A lot of folks said, hey, this unemployment supplement is people are staying home, right? That came and went. That ended now. That's been, I think it ended in September of last year, right? So while that's certainly, and I heard from a lot of folks talking about that issue, and I certainly could understand where folks are coming from. But in terms of where things are now,
it's not better.
It's not like we saw all of a sudden a big jump.
Right.
Once that passed, the data doesn't really support, right? So the question then becomes, well, what other factors are in play, right? In terms of the psychology of working in America today, and sort of you feel like, the opportunities you want are what you genuinely want, or you're currently in the position you are. COVID, I think, has really made a lot of people step back and reevaluate their own lives and sort of how they want to pursue what makes them happy from a career standpoint. I think that's also part of the challenge. I know that's not really an answer.
No, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Any questions? Anyone else? Any questions? Yes.
Thank you. I'm Steve Kelly. I'm the president down at Ellenville Hospital. And I don't really have a question. I have a story to share with you. Across the country, there are critical access hospitals, primary hospitals like Ellenville. And there was a regulation change in the standard operating manual for critical access hospitals that was changed without any public input. It was not in the Federal Register, and it took effect into the future, which we're in the future now. And that is very bad it will lead to possibly the closure of half of the small hospitals in New York. Congressman Delgado, when he became aware of this, reached across the aisle to Elise Stefanik, the other side of the aisle, and they have been working on this. And as recently as January 14th, they submitted another letter to Secretary Bucera asking to have this issue resolved, and resolved favorably for rural America. So I really just have a salute for the congressman. He's talking about these big things that are happening. This is what's happening, what he's doing for us here in Ulster County. So thank you, Congressman.
I just want to say, if I may, and the work that you do. I've been to the hospital. We've had multiple conversations around my healthcare advisory committee, and again, it's a reflection of the work of the community. The input that I get from folks like you who care about the community and want to leverage this office that I'm very humbled to be able to be in. That's the work. That is the work. It's how do we leverage that? How do we build those connections so that I can act in that way? You mentioned Elise Stefanik. Obviously, we're not, in the same party, different politics, but we care about an issue that speaks directly to our community. We both have critical access hospitals that we know our communities depend upon, and that's where the work needs to be done. And that's it. So I appreciate you flagging that.
Hi, Congressman. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to us.
My pleasure.
My name is Stu Myers, and I'm Chairman and CEO of Ulster Strong, working with the HVEDC in Ulster County. And I'd like to know how we can help you actually get reelected.
We're not here for that. I appreciate the question.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the question. I really do. But I am here in my capacity as your congressman. And that means I'm here speaking to everybody in this room, whether you supported me or didn't support me. And so I appreciate that, but this is not the forum for that.
Hi, my name is Eric Stewart, and I've just recently been elected to the county legislature, representing the towns of Marbletown and Hurley. So, my question for you is about housing. Housing and affordability is a major issue across this country, and it's really been felt very strongly here in Ulster County. And I wonder if you see any federal funds coming to this county to assist us in helping us build.
Yeah, I mean, the housing issue is a real crisis. Even before, again, before COVID, I did a whole week focusing on the housing crisis. Went to every part of this district, held forums with different advocacy groups on this issue. It's been a persistent issue for us here, and it got exacerbated with the pandemic. Folks may not know this. I was blown away, not surprised, but it was a big development. New York Times listed, the top locations in the country for folks where they moved during the pandemic. They told the whole country, okay, just to be clear. 2 of the top 2. We have Kingston, Ulster, and then Hudson in Columbia. So 2 of the places that are top in the country are in my district in New York 19. So which in some respects is great, right? You get more foot traffic, get more folks on the ground, potential labor force, all that. But it has a profound effect on housing and the impact it's having. And then you also have folks who are looking at the opportunity to not necessarily live in these spaces, but to take ownership of them and then, either flip them or, utilize them like an Airbnb, right? And we know there's no real regulations right now in that space, which I think causes issues and problems. It is literally the wild, wild west from the federal standpoint in terms of how we manage this reality that is growing. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's a good thing to have folks, think and innovate in this way, but within some parameters here that ultimately can keep costs low, right, for folks who are trying to find affordable housing. Our stock is very limited. We are working in Congress on legislation that would really double down on investment in affordable housing just to build up our stock. We don't have enough just affordable housing. So just making sure that we have more funding in that regard. Thinking about what we've been working on, there was legislation that people were trying to get through last year, stalled out in the Senate, but there was some housing components there. I think if we can maybe keep focusing on those pieces, that can be helpful as well. But it is a big issue, both in terms of stock and making sure that we have what we need to build out, but also in terms of making sure that we really think about proper oversight for certain practices that are making it very difficult. I'm a big supporter of low-income tax credits for investors who want to come in and provide affordable housing when they build new developments or projects. We want to make sure that we can incentivize that through a public-private partnership. That would be important as well.
Thank you very, very much, Congressman.
Thank you.
Thanks again to Congressman Delgado for always being available. Thanks also to our sponsor, Ulster Savings Bank, obviously. Everybody in this room should have gotten an invitation to join us for a special Zoom presentation today in cooperation with Ulster County Executive Pat Ryan. We have a New York State budget presentation on Zoom. Please respond to the invite. If you didn't get invited, please contact the office. And please come back and see us next month. Pat Ryan will be our guest speaker. Thank you all for coming.